What's up, y'all? This is Master of Thought on the first EP of Conversations with Master of Thought. I have a really good friend of mine I met a while back, Zeem,
What's
uh,
going on?
and we're gonna meet him today. There's a lot of things that this man has come across and kind of piqued my interest in a lot of different things. He's a veteran. He's a musician, artist, lyricist. He's a father. Something I hope to be one day, and hope I can be a good one. This guy's memes are ridiculous, right? And without further ado, Zeem, I just want you to kind of introduce yourself and kind of what you do, where you're from, how you
All
feeling today.
right. My name is Zeem Al Haq. I was born in San Francisco, raised in East Bay, Oakland through Hayward. I've been in San Jose for 13 years, pretty much since 2005, 2006. Uh, I did 4 years in Iraq in the Marine Corps. I did 6 months tour in Iraq in the beginning in 9/11. I was in the Marine Corps during the 9/11. I was in the Marine Corps during the war. I jumped in right at jackpot time. They tried to get me to re-enlist. I was like, why? I said, I did everything.
I didn't even know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, I got it at jackpot time. Actually, a true story. I was with my partner. I was what? I had just had my daughter, and I didn't know. I was trying to get it together. I was young. I thought I could raise a kid until I had one. I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Whoa. You know what I
They're
mean?
expensive, right?
Yeah. It's just realization. It's not about you no more.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. And so, trying to get right. I mean, I knew I was a man in the streets where I was from. I mean, always had good values and stuff, but I just knew that because did a lot of raising by myself. I had the intelligence at that time to know that I needed more guidance. The stuff that I learned probably wasn't all of it. So I literally went to the Marine Corps like a big brother. But my buddy, we always was talking about stuff. He was like, America gets in a war every 10 years, and you hit the jackpot time. And I was also around 9/11. No, not 9/11, Y2K.
Oh yeah.
See, that's the whole thing. I was
About to go down.
19. I was like 21, 22 in Y2K. So I was thinking, well, if the world's gonna end, I'd rather end with a gun in my hand.
Quick question then, because were you one of the people who believed it, or you thought it was just BS?
I didn't know. I was, like I said, I was young. I didn't know, but I was just like, if it did pop off, I didn't want to be at the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather be in the mix. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I feel you, man.
oh, a soldier's death. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't want
Yeah.
to be part of whatever. And I guess I did believe it. You know what I mean? Who knows? But then I tell you when it didn't happen, I had 4 more years left. I was like, damn.
Right. I know that some of the things as like I said, you have a daughter.
Yeah.
Issues that come up sometimes, or like, how did you feel when you first, or even you first found out becoming a father? You know.
Yeah. At the time, I was, it wasn't an accident. Even though I wasn't ready to have a child. That was the whole thing. I had wanted to have my child, but thinking I was grown and I'm a real man and all that shit. And then that's what happened. When I had her, it was like, oh, what about this? What about that? All the
Yeah.
shit you didn't think about. And so that's probably why I always did better for myself or her. You know what I mean? Because I got it together. You know what I mean? Like that was my whole intention, because that's my offspring, man. Like you got to make sure they good.
Man, well, you say that, but at the same time, I grew up in a pretty difficult household at times. They wasn't the best, and coming from growing up in Richmond,
Yeah,
there's a lot of families like that.
yeah, yeah.
Like what was it that maybe pushed you towards wanting to do that as opposed to staying in the streets?
Well, like for me, it was every. I didn't want her to go through none of my shit. I didn't want her to have none of my hang-ups. That's pretty much all the way through raising her.
Yeah.
And I think that was the main thing. Like I know what you're talking about. I come from an environment, and it's like I didn't want her to have my neglect issues. I didn't want her to think that she was never good enough. You know what I mean? I didn't want her to think all the things that I felt that keep me down.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that was the driving force. It's just like I don't want her to feel like she's worthless, you know what I mean? She's a pretty young black child. I don't want her to be thinking that she's ugly because she's black and shit like that. You know, all that stuff. I made sure that she didn't have that shit. You know what I
You know
mean?
what? That's a crazy narrative that is
Yeah.
being pumped out around. I feel like there's a test. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Like it was like a social experiment. They had kids come in, and there's like these babies that
Mhm.
are out on like a table,
Mhm.
and they would ask the kids, you know, one at a time. They'd have a darker skinned baby and then a lighter skinned
Right.
baby,
Right.
and ask them, hey, which one's the good baby?
Right.
And they
Right.
would point over to the lighter skinned one.
You know that's a
know?
real thing. Like I'm
Yeah.
saying, like I just fortunate. That was a beautiful thing. Like I mean, God, the higher source and everything. I ended up out here. You know what I mean? She's not in an environment where it's really. Sounds like it's a good place to raise a kid, and being a single parent the whole time. It takes a village to raise a child, and this was a pretty mild village. You know what I mean? Like, that was the thing. It's like, so I don't know, man. Uh, you just the main thing with kids, I think, and it's funny because my daughter's so old. A lot of people ask me for advice because the other kids are like 13 and 11 and stuff. And what I tell them, what I've noticed in my life, meeting people and meeting kids who have fucked up parents and shit like that, the congruent thing, whether you're rich or poor, you have to be there for the kid.
Yeah.
Like, even if you have hella money, if you ain't there, they're gonna bad. You feel me? If you broke, as long as you there, like.
That's that classic. That's that classic movie thing where you got that rich kid, trust fund baby guy,
Yeah.
over here wilding out, got all this money, and then the dad's always working.
Right.
Like some people may think that's a trope. That's like a consistent theme that happens a lot.
Right.
People tend to ignore something they think is for granted.
Right.
And I've seen that. I've definitely seen that across with like a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
That's why we kind of had each other.
Huh.
You know what I mean? That's why I feel that's why people go into, you try to find camaraderie and community. That's actually one of the main reasons I have you on here, man. Because like when we first linked up on the show, we were on set. It was just like we're all a team.
Right.
And like you consistently gave that effort, and like there was never a time where I was like, man, I don't like this guy. It's because like I could feel where you came from. Because it's similar to the paths that I've been on.
Right.
But at the same time, all the other people that were there still kind of understood us, even though they didn't know our lives.
Right.
Because we're all working for the same goal.
Definitely try to make it happen. And that's another thing. I could thank the Marine Corps for that. With me, a lot of discipline. I mean, I had discipline from my childhood too, but that extreme stuff, it's like as long as you do the job.
Yeah.
If nobody can say nothing if you do the job right. When it's time, I know I would come there, I would sleep, I'd be, chilling. But it's like when it's time to sound is on. You know what I mean? And apparently I got good feedback from the editor's office because it's just you gotta know how to perform, and no matter how sloppy you are, like, that's everything with my business. I had to tune up my coworkers because it's like, bro, we can't be sloshes if we're gonna get this business going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you want, man, just plug away, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm running a digital media company. We just started up last year as Looney Bin Entertainment. Triple C, Biggs, Inner City Smitty, and me, Zeem Thuggin. We just, we do music, we do merchandise, and we also shooting videos and doing model shoots. So pretty much just distribute the media. Pretty much, my selfish reason is that I can do it all for me, and I'll sell it to you. Like, bada boom, bada bing. Top recording. A bunch of good musicians, engineers. We got one of the best engineers out there, Triple C. I mean, that's why we work. And then, me, I got playing bass, rapping, they call me the mad scientist behind the thing,
Yeah, man, see, that's another thing I want to, it's a subject that, you kind of went here to there, but like, that was another thing I wanted to ask you, like, how is it that you came across, a compulsion towards going towards artistry, and like, how did you discover yourself being an artist for the first time? Because like, not everybody comes onto it easy, like,
right.
If something either happened or,
No, I have a mother, stepmother, dad, stepdad, all of them musicians.
Wow.
So I felt like I felt a divine duty to be a musician. Now, as far as my personal venture, as far as like going through it, I mean, I started rapping at 12, and then, you know, I'm still a kid, you know, so I'm rapping, whatever, doing the thing, and then I remember come like 95, everybody started rapping. So I've always wanted to separate myself. And then going to school for engineering, I got into, cause I just wanted to make beats. And then I started getting into the samples I was sampling, and then I picked up on it. Like, pretty much I was in the music school and I felt inferior to everybody else because they could read and stuff, having like intricate conversations about theory. I'm over here playing an untuned guitar trying to, does this sound fresh? You know what I mean? So I said, I got to pick up an instrument. And then I heard the bass, you know what I mean? And that's when I picked up on it. And just desire to what made me a better artist is just the desire to do something that's never been done. I just want, in my music, I want someone to say, ugh, how you put that together? Like, oh, you know what I mean? And, you know, theory degree, you know what I mean? I do a lot to do a lot, you know? So, and it works out. Like, I got a fat bag of tricks, you know what I mean?
Okay, I do remember on set one day, and you just started busting out some music and rapping to it, and everybody thinks like you're doing a freestyle. I was like, no, that's his song.
Yeah.
And we're over here knocking heads, moving, doing the thing, like, you know, gearing up. We putting the makeup on.
Yeah.
Well, fuck yeah, I love this.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
it's that vibe.
Yeah, you know, good music, man. That's pretty much what it is, and just trying to get from here to out there. You know, whether you're doing dance or fighting, whatever you do, you have an imagination is to get it out here. And that's where the talent is, you know?
Yeah. I feel like today there's a lot of people that, you know, they say they have talent, or they say they're a model on Instagram and stuff like that. But we know for sure fact that if Instagram was never there,
they wouldn't be there.
You got it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what separates you from other people, because you're actually doing shows.
Right.
You're actually producing sounds. You're actually out there and you love it.
Yeah.
You know, that's something I do for a fact know that if people aren't passionate about something, it could be anything. It could be you know, drawing, whatever it is.
Well, that's why I started the business, you know, because, you know, my daughter, you know, I got her out of high school, you know, and during the whole time I kept a music, like pretty much I didn't kick it too much. I would do shows. Like it would be like, that would be my time out, doing shows and stuff. And I sit here with an opportunity to where I could actually take time and start my own business instead of go getting a job, work with somebody for like, you know what I mean? I had the opportunity, you know? So I just go for it. Like, you know what I mean?
How does that feel?
Oh, man.
Going for it, you know?
Oh, man, it's scary. You know what I mean? It's scary because, you know, you never know how much you hate on yourself, you know what I mean? You know, it's like, wow, I'm really pulling this shit off, you know what I mean? And, but the beautiful thing is when I feel like that, there's so much work to be done, I just get to work. You know, and just realizing that this is something that I have cultivated throughout my life, and however I did it, you know. I've always wanted to do this, you know what I mean? And sticking in the mud, like being responsible, like we talk about being a general good person. A lot of things, like how we were talking about earlier about that one family, a lot of things come back to me, you know? And like I said, I'm sitting in this point. Like if I was out here acting a fool or something, I probably wouldn't have as many connections, how many people that, you know, many lanes I can walk, you know?
Yeah. Well, let's touch on that. Let's touch on, you know how people say, like, karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like, is it because we're doing good actions and doing good for other people that they want more to be, you know, nice to you? Or is it just like there is an accountant out there looking at all your goods and bads, and
does
it equate to
I think, oh yeah, definitely. Karma, I've been aware of karma for a long time. You know, there's some people that just pick up on karma when they're 30 something, you know, and I think it's definitely, my life is pure karma, you know what I mean? If I told you how I did it, you'd be like, what? You know what I mean? And people say, how you do it? I can't even explain it, but we're here. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and it's just, you know, think about it like this. Say you a job, you a trickster, you a scandalous cat, you know what I mean? So you know somebody out for you. So you already can't trust nobody. You're actually trapped into being more scandalous. Because, you know what I mean? Because, you can't, hey, I did something dirty in San Jose. You know somebody in San Jose want to see you, right? So now you can't go to San Jose, and San Jose got all this opportunity out here. You cannot really successfully take advantage of that, because you get too far, somebody that you jerk gonna find you.
Right. Yep.
And then, but even knowing that in your mind, that's where the karma comes. That's where the psychological. Because now, when one day you're gonna be like, I want to stop being like this, but you got a whole track record.
Right.
You're gonna have to bounce, and then you've been doing it for so long. That's all you know. You know.
Even that. So like, the whole story about the scorpion and the frog.
No, I didn't know.
Okay,
that.
so that's like an old allegory. Like the scorpion wants to get across the river. There's a frog in the river that can swim.
Right.
Right. And then the scorpion asks the frog, "Hey, let's bring me across the river." And he's like, "Man, you crazy. Man, you're a scorpion. You're gonna sting me.
Right.
We're both gonna die." I was like, "Duh, I'm not gonna sting you. We're both gonna die."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the scorpion gets on the back of the frog and starts going down the river, and about halfway through, the scorpion stings him. And then the frog turns around and is like, "Why'd you do that? We're dying now. We're gonna die." I was like, "I'm sorry, it's in my nature."
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? So is it, there's always that question, is it nature versus nurture? Or does the environments often play what you're gonna become? How well, just your take on that.
Yeah. Environments definitely affect, what you become. But yeah, but at the same time, that goes to different perspectives. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you're from like Richmond, and it's, you can't be nice and trusting and cool, because that's the temperature of the land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But even in that, there's rights and wrongs in that. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
On every level.
Kinda
you know
like
what I mean?
honor amongst thieves kind of thing.
You got to move right.
Yeah.
You know?
Still be able to move in that environment.
Right. You got to move right. Yeah, there is. There should be honor. That's the whole thing. There's not honor days around these days, and it's like, that's why it's chaos. But the old way still work, and that's how you navigate. Like, I've never, what I'm saying, I don't wish bad upon nobody. You know what I mean? I don't, what I'm saying, I don't give into those feelings of whatever. Somebody does something, like, I found ways to protect myself from it. That's another thing. You keep dealing with people that break your heart in certain ways, you know what I mean? Whether it's business, relationships, whatever. You keep fucking with that type of person, that's your fault. You gotta find, you know what I mean? He may look like this, he may like that, but if he moves right and he's good company and it's positive outcome, you need to fuck with him. You know what I mean? And sometimes, and that's the thing, people that you're used to messing with might not be cool. You know what I mean?
Man, that's true.
Really true. I tell it, I've had to cut off a lot of people that were like, not necessarily dead weight, but put me in bad spaces, and, I still love them. I love them from afar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, hey man, I can't mess with you, but that don't mean I hate you.
Yeah.
But you're gonna come around and it's gonna be like this. I can't be like that right now. I'm trying to be something better, something different. And I'm transforming. You're not gonna transform. Nobody's telling you to transform any kind of way, but if I can't be doing this, and that's kind of like how you gotta, protect yourself.
I feel like some of those people, how they talk about cutting out negativity in your life. That's also something really important that's happened for myself, and it seems like you're on that same tip.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I read a book, 2 books, simple books. Well, the first one, Secret. Everybody done read The Secret. And then I read 48 Laws of Power. And 48 Laws of Power was talking about stay away from depression or just negativity like the plague. Yeah. And then, one thing about Robert Greene, I like the way he breaks it down so hard. If you ever read a Robert Greene book, it's like
I read that book too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so he drives the point in hella hard.
Yeah.
And so, I sit back, and of course some of these people that they're talking about are in my life. So my closest partners, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then I read The Secret, you know what I mean, where it talks about how, your environment, you know, who you be around, and you know what you put out, the law of attraction, right? So, you know what I mean?
But you don't think like, I mean, some people think it's woo-woo. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting that word straight from Joe Rogan.
Woo woo.
Woo-woo. It's like oh, it's all like supernatural. You know, like because there's people have read that book are like, man, wait. So you're telling me like if you concentrate and vibrate only, you're thinking this one thing, and oh, things are gonna happen. You know, like
Yeah, no, but you gotta move towards it.
yeah.
That's the whole thing. The action is the magic.
There we go.
You know what I
That's
mean?
gonna be the next show. The action is the magic. I love that.
I mean, yeah, if you just sitting here talking shit, I mean, you know what I mean? You talking shit and you say you hear think taking all day, yeah, ain't shit gonna happen. No, you gotta actually make a move. It might have to be an unsafe move. It might be like I should save this money, but now I'm gonna buy this piece of equipment because this equipment will make me more of what I'm gonna do and what I'm trying to do. You know, and the more you believe in it, the more it happens. I mean, you know, I'm known for being an artist because I do shows. If I didn't do shows, then who could tell me what? I can go out and pull a whole little thing on my whole shit. I got, you know, look up my name on the internet. You'll see some shit. You know, that's because I've walked it. I have albums. I've done it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And you have to move forward. It can't be no safe move like, okay, I'm going to get my fucking school shopping done, then get it popping. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, you've already made a choice.
you gotta.
School shopping, you better be in school, right?
One thing, Festo from Hieroglyphics, I did some bass lines with him one time. And this one thing he told me, fuck my world up. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm a single dad. I haven't had a job. It's always been a part-time thing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and he just give it to me. He said, you know, Zeem, you really can't do this shit part-time. This fool is in school. He was in school learning music theory from like Berkeley while we were doing it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like trying to play piano. Festival, he's good now, but Festival was playing piano. And I'm like, damn, this fool's still trying to get doper. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's how it works. Though.
Right.
I think, like, you know, coming from like seeing it from a fighter's perspective, they're always looking for that next move. That's
Right.
gonna let them get better.
Right.
Next exercise or the next CrossFit workout,
Right.
whatever WOD. And like, I think a lot of people today forget that back in the days, all it was hard work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Today, all these kids are just tip-tapping on their phone, want that instant gratification, and it's like, okay, I'm going to date somebody today. Let me look on my phone. There's an app for that.
Right.
There was no apps for shit
No.
back then, you know?
No, like that's the whole thing. Like especially like when people want to get political on social media.
Yeah.
Like you think about it, like everybody talks a lot of stuff, but nothing happens. And then and think about it, like let's just say like before cell phones and shit. Let's just say like the civil rights movement. Let's say Malcolm X didn't get on a tweet and talk about what the fuck happened. That motherfucker flew his ass out there to the spot. You know what I mean? That's what I tell people. If you ain't about it like that, are you gonna fly to fucking North Dakota with them and do that thing?
Yeah.
Are you gonna go down to the border and stuff? Are you gonna go to the White House? If you ain't about to do that shit, then I don't want to hear it.
That's what
You know what I mean? Like,
dude.
don't. You know what I mean? Like, if you really, because then I'm not gonna entertain your conversation.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You're so right, because there's like a lot of people who claim to be activists and doing things or whatever it is they're saying. They
Keyboard warriors in their house.
There you go.
You feel me? In their house, they probably broke as fuck. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, I shouldn't say that, but I'm just saying though, like,
No, I get it. There's like emotion behind it.
All right,
You know,
could-
like it's something that like kind of like stabs us in the face every time
Yeah.
they're trying to give their opinion, and they want all of us to give them likes. That's what
Right.
they're looking for. They're just looking for the likes.
right.
You know?
And it's just like, and it gets so deep, write a paragraph, write an essay on you, and it's like, have you even done music? Have you even?
Yeah.
I had a light one where it was a girl playing a bass line, and she was playing a lead. And one thing I say is when you play lead, that's not bass. You're playing a deep guitar. So I put on my post, and this keyboard, of course, he didn't know I played bass and stuff. Just was like, I hate sorry musicians like you. Like just disregarded my whole thing.
Right.
Like, and I'm like, dog, like let's just say we was in the neighborhood, bruh.
Yeah.
Would you be able to come at me like that, bruh?
Exactly.
You
And
know what I mean?
that's another thing. I feel like you know, there's people that I know, and you know, you see that question thing that be having on Instagram. It says like, ask me a question, and then
Yeah.
like, people respond or whatever.
Yeah.
And someone that's close to me, like all I ever see in that thing is like, oh, let me slide, let me hit those. I'm like, what? Are you kidding? Because then she calls him out.
Yeah, yeah,
From
yeah.
the bottom, like, you can't ask me in person. You can't be like a regular normal person. Like, it has to be through here. Like, and then all of a sudden you're internet brave. You got this whole internet between us. It's like,
That thing is bad. It's bad at all levels. That level,
yeah.
yeah, nah, yeah, sliding in the DMs, yeah.
And that's a whole nother thing. Also, I feel today people have, they say social media, but I feel like it's bringing us more apart. I was just telling, our TikTok media, the people that are filming us today, that people no longer talk to each other. And that's actually one of the main reasons why I'm even having a conversation with you. Like, this isn't something that is just a normal thing anymore. People have no more time. We either got to work, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, looking to just barely make rent sometimes.
No, you could get into something that is you can really get into something, anything, so deep that you're not aware of what's going on around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just I don't know, far-fetched, but I had this thing where I always say, like, too much information. Like, say in the Native Americans, right?
Yeah.
Let's say a blizzard took out a tribe in North Dakota somewhere, right?
Yeah.
The Indians in California, they heard about it, but they heard about it like 2-3 months later, right?
Yeah.
They know they affected by it, whatever, but they know that their life is living. We hear about shit, like, you hear about this happening in Alabama, then you can sit here, you know what I mean? This happened in here, happened there, and every day, like, that's why I tell people, like, I'm not gonna sit up here and be like trying to rebel against the police in San Jose, man. They don't mess with me out here. That's not what happens out here. Yeah. I do support Alabama. I do support every other place that's going on, but it's just like, I'm not gonna sit up here and mess up my opportunities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Because that's not what's going on right here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's something recently that happened out in Northern California with all the fires and stuff like that. And then there was people that I saw that were just asking if you have donations, let me know.
Right.
I'll come by and pick it up, and then we'll all go together or whatever.
Right.
But then there were also people who were, it's like virtue signaling for themselves. They would go out and like do stuff, but then put it all over their, Instagram, all over their Facebook, and I'm thinking, like, so who's that really for?
Is this for themselves? Oh yeah, no, that's.
You get what I'm saying?
No, I know, like.
And like, those are, lack of an even better word, but those are fake people to me.
Yeah.
Because with or without you're doing something, you should do it anyway.
Right.
Don't put it on your media stream, because I feel like the instant you put it on something like that, it's for you.
Right.
It's no longer for them.
That's back to what I was saying. It's better somebody else to brag on you than you to brag on yourself. If somebody caught you in the mix, that's different.
Yes.
But if you out here, look at me saving everybody's life and shit, man.
Yeah. Hey, that's hella perfect. Exactly how Clark Kent, Superman.
Yeah.
What does he do? He puts his hat on.
Yeah.
Puts his, I'm a reporter.
Right.
I'm the scrubbiest of the scrubbiest in this building.
Right.
Pay attention to me.
Right.
And it's like, I think that's the storyline of being humble, even if you have amassed a level of power, no matter what it is, obviously it's a comic book.
Because, like, no, that's the thing, humble. Like, there's a point, but see, there's a thing, there's like, I don't want to say too humble. Like, there's a point, and this is what I struggle with personally, is there's also a point where you got to respect who you are.
Oh, man. Keep on.
You know what I mean? And that's the part, because, like, the cats be so humble to the point, but you can't let people just talk to you any kind of way. You can't just, not like that, but you can't, you can't let somebody that doesn't know what he's talking about get to a thing. Like, for instance, if you want to have an intellectual conversation about music, then I need you to have, are you a teacher?
Yeah.
Do you have a degree?
Right.
I don't need you to know 3 chords and sit here and try to talk to me about some shit. You know what I mean? Things like that.
I want to tell you a quick story. This was actually way back when I used to work for UPS. I'm going to tell them, Some people say they call it underpaid slaves, and that's their words, not mine.
Yeah.
I heard it from them. But there was a friend of mine. He's a really dear friend of mine now. He had 2 kids and all that, and I watched his whole evolution as a person. But one of the things was he saw how hard I worked and saw what position I was when I was there. He wanted to have that for himself. Right? So, and he asked me, how did I do it? I showed him. He worked just as hard, sometimes even harder, because he was behind.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now he's in a position to make bigger moves. And one day he went into the office, and the building manager told him, "Well, look here, you're trying to do too much
Right.
with your life. Like, how is that man gonna tell how hard my friend is supposed to work to provide for the life for him and his wife and kids?
Right, right.
You can't tell that to another man. I think that's what broke the camel's back for him.
Yeah.
He was seeking to leave that place right after that.
Right.
No matter how much money they were going to offer him after that, he said, "I'm out," because that person's trying to control the way I want to live my life.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing. He apparently he don't work as hard as he do. It's hard to work for a higher up, or I guess you should say a boss that is not putting out how you put out.
Yeah.
That's nothing in the Marine Corps. I can't work for nobody that's just not dope, not giving his all. He don't got to be perfect. He ain't got to be the best, but I got to know he got to be giving his 100, because I'm giving my 100.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like they say, like you cannot. It's a saying. Like don't work. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. Don't work in a spot where you don't want to give 100%.
Right.
Don't do nothing you don't want to give 100%, because the time you spend in doing that, you're gonna acquire all kind of habits, all kind of. I had a job for 4 years where I didn't have to do shit. Like I would promote my music all day at work, pretty much. You know what I mean? And they didn't pay me well, but I didn't seek nothing else because I was comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I knew if I did my 100, it didn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I had to break some bad habits for that. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. You taking the words out of my own.
And that's the thing. So yeah, man, I don't care how much money it is. If he doesn't care like I care, you know what I mean?
That's one more thing I want to touch on, man. Like, I think a lot of people today are unable to find what their passion is in life, and I think it holds to why people are either depressed or they want to do things like be part of a gang and all this other stuff, because they're no longer actually being with a community where people are like, "Oh man, thank you.
Oh yeah,
thanks for that."
Acceptance is serious.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's you want to be accepted by what's going on. That's where you say like the environment controls. You know what I mean? Yeah. If everybody's going left, you want to be left. If you're in the valley and everybody's like a valley girl, then you want to be a valley guy. You know what I mean? If you're in the hood, you want to be hard with everybody else. You want to be, no matter what you say, you're gonna want to be like what's going on outside.
Yeah.
And that's just naturally, and that's the thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's real. So
cool. Well, there's other things I need to, I do want you to plug everything else that you're doing. If you got future projects and things like that.
Yeah, I just pretty much we coming out with the clothing line.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got the Truth Gang clothing line. Truth Gang basically is just the hard truth. That's the thing. Everybody's putting fugazi. Everybody want to put glamour on stuff. Yeah. Cold-blooded truth. We Truth Gang ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, hashtag Truth Gang. All day, Truth Gang. Just the truth. If you speak truth, no lies. Tell truth to yourself. Don't lie to yourself about shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Truth Gang, and we're gonna push the whole line. We got women's wear. Yeah. We got men's wear.
Okay. When you're ready, man, like, hopefully this holds true, and then, like, I'll have you back, you promote it, whatever you want.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Coming soon.
Until next time, I think we did a good effort right here.
Yes, sir.
A lot of stuff that we went over, and I'm excited, man. I see, like, you got a bright future, bro.
Likewise, man. I appreciate it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Take care, everybody. Again, this is Master of Thought, and I got Zeem right here with me.
Sir Zeem Thuggin, Truth Gang.
There you go. Find him on Instagram. You can find me at Master of Thought on Instagram, and also hit up my Astral Armada. That's actually the shirt I'm wearing for those of you that can see us in video.
Blah, blah, blah.
And take care. Shine on.